Welcome, Virgo, to your May Moon Magic 1 month forecast for the ascendant, the sun, or the moon. May has 5 key lunations. 2 of them are quarter moons, which can be just as influential as new and full moons. But the second of those quarter moons is in Virgo, but squares off with Uranus in Gemini for the first time in 77 years. What's the implication for you personally, Virgo? Because your ruler Mercury is zipping through 3 zodiac signs this month. I'm going to unpack each of these lunations and share how Mars, the planet of passion and assertion, is threaded through each one in a very influential way. By the end of the month, you'll have a clearer understanding of what's in store in terms of your energy, work, relationships, or finances. I'm astrologer Patrick Arundel. A very warm welcome. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so now to help it to continue to thrive. But please also click or tap the bell notification symbol. So on the screen now, Virgo, is the Scorpio flower full moon that welcomed us into the new month. But for you, the moon is in the third house, which can be quick exchanges, very nimble exchanges, not usually so attuned to the more emotional dimension. But the moon in Scorpio feels things very deeply, but can be very protective, perhaps even almost secretive. But you could find yourself in the first 2 weeks of this month having some very highly charged conversations. You may even be moving around quite a bit. You may be thinking a lot about your work or even some kind of key reorganization, because Pluto, the planet very much to do with change, is influencing both the sun and the moon in a T square. So if you're resisting something, they're all in fixed signs which don't like change. That can create extra tension. The other thing with the moon in the third house, its reluctance to talk about how it really feels, and Scorpio's tendency to be very private, means that when you do suddenly let something out, it may not be quite as you'd like to shape it. However, Mercury, the planet of communication, as well as your ruler, the planet very much to do with precision and details, is in a conjunction with Chiron at the start of this month in the deep and passionate eighth house. If there is something you need to talk about that's of a more intimate level, or it is to do with long term or shared finances, that's a great chance to reach out to someone and really have the confidence to reveal that tender matter. But Mars, the ruler of the sign of Aries, along with Mercury, is very powerful throughout May and is forging a square with Jupiter, the planet of enthusiasm and growth, for you in the part of your chart to do with friendships. It's possible if you're single that those conversations could be a draw to someone in your group that you're finding very irresistible. But if you're in an ongoing relationship, the key element that you may be asking yourself is, are you and your partner on the same page when it comes to managing finances or when it comes to intimacy? But that brings us through to the first of the quarter moons. It's in the sign of Aquarius, and you can see the moon at 19 degrees 14, there's the sun 1914. The moon in the sixth house, the same as Pluto, is asking you to think about those routines. It does have an echo of Virgo, ironically, but the sun still in the sign of Taurus has been joined by your ruler Mercury on the third of the month, and that's really pushing a desire to shake things up, have more variety in your life. It could be around your choices of where to travel to, but equally it could be if you are thinking of a different kind of job. Also, you may be considering higher education or a course or re-skilling. But the moon in that sixth house means you have to juggle your everyday routines, your existing demands from job. And you may feel a bit resentful over the following week if that desire for freedom is being denied to you. That brings us through to the heart of the month of Virgo. Mercury, your ruler, has just gone through a couple of days before the new moon of the 16th, a kazimi with the sun in that ninth house. So that desire to do something fresh and animatedly exciting is really turned up to max. And it's a very positive new moon because the moon in the sign of Taurus is exalted. Also, because the moon and the sun and Mercury are all in the third decan of Taurus, that's subruled by Saturn. So this desire for change is getting stronger with you. Your determination to make it happen that much firmer. But also by this point in the month, Venus, the planet of charm, but finance, is in a great link with Mars. Now they're going to be forging that great link in two new homes. Mars moves into Taurus on the 18th, followed by Venus into Cancer on the 19th. And that can be particularly positive for you as far as your romantic situation is concerned in the latter part of this month. But just to know, that person in your group or circle that you're attracted to, Jupiter's linked to the sun and the moon in a sextile, lucky Jupiter, suggests this can be a very positive new moon for you. But if you're open to change, so staying as you are may not be so much as an option. But if we look now at the Virgo quarter moon, the sun moves into Gemini on the 21st, merges with Uranus. So there they are. And the sun's just moved past by the time we get to the 23rd, but there's the moon in your sign. So the moon in your sign can make you more sensitive, but it's also making you more aware of what you need in terms of your immediate environment. But because Uranus and the sun are together in the most visible part of your chart, and for the long term, the position of Uranus there for the next 7 years, that change agenda is just going to amp up. And if you're resisting something, the tension of that can be palpable. But socially, Mars is linked with Venus is fabulous for you in the second half of this month. But I think it's professionally or in your worldly interactions where that need for some kind of change is going to flag up most of all. But here's the thing. If you're resisting it still, Mars's link to Pluto is very powerful. And there could be a big standoff through the last 10 days of this month if you're not enabling yourself to just flow with things. I think resistance may prove futile. And one of the reasons I'm saying that, Virgo, is not because of you, the person, it's because of the world we're inhabiting. It's changing around us at such a pace. So even if we've had a particular way of doing things that we felt comfortable with, if you think back over the last few years, you will have adopted and integrated into your world lots of new and fresh and technological features. There's just going to be more. But I think around your professional situation, it is going to be a time of change. But if you're open to it, Saturn, the planet, which is very much to do with work, is in a fantastic link with your ruler right at the top of your chart. So you could snag yourself a new role on this quarter moon in the following week if you allow yourself to go with the flow. So that's really intriguing. That brings us to the final lunation of the month on the final day, the 31st, the blue moon. So what it is, the entire lunar cycle is just over 29 days. If we add 12 of those up, we get just over 365 days. So cumulatively over 2.7 years, we get that blue moon, the extra full moon in the month. To understand the lunar cycle, more about the house that your moon's in and also the sign, all about the mythology and the astronomy, you can download my free leaflet underneath this video. But I'm going to summarize the 4 areas for you next, Virgo. I've slashed the price of my personal horoscope reports. It's now 3 for the price of 1. You pay for your life roadmap report, which helps us to understand the patterns that are played out so far, but get a more intimate understanding of them and work with those energies future forwards that much better. Free, you get your 12 months transit forecast and also your draconic soul karmic analysis. 3 for for the price of one. Please see below for more. Why? I've been full-time for 30 years, but my interest in astrology came through when I was 14. The first classical album I ever got was The Planets, which is about astrology, not astronomy. And ever since then, it's been a major part of my life. Natal astrology helps us to really navigate this particular journey that much better. By sharing the love about natal astrology, I hope to help others too. Please see below for more. If you've yet to watch your May monthly forecast, please see that on the screen. Yet to watch your Pluto retrograde 5-month forecast on the screen. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, please see my testimonials below. And if you've yet to take advantage of my free daily written horoscope fired to your device each morning, please do so now. Get that early day celestial pit stop. And also, if you want to take advantage of my Moon Guide download, you can see that below too. So you come into this month with a lot of mental energy, and there is going to be some restlessness. But there's a lot to talk about and a lot to think about. But the key is you feel whatever it is that's being discussed. You don't deny that of yourself. Also, because Pluto's in the mix, there could be some leverage going on. Someone may want to use a bit of power, perhaps even the dark arts like manipulation, to get you to change in some kind of way, which undoubtedly could get your hackles up. With Mars in a very passionate part of your chart through to the 18th, the sign of Aries, which it rules, it's very much about your deeper desires. It's square at the start of the month with Jupiter, just cautions you not to try too hard, but it also suggests you could be attracted to someone in your friendship circle. Now, as the month goes on, for sure, that first quarter moon could see you a bit conflicted between what you want to do and what you have to do. However, the new moon at the heart of the month and the Mercury kazimi gives you a great chance to learn or expand with passion and also with momentum. That's truly exciting. But the switch of Venus and Mars into much more enabling areas for you personally in the second half of the month suggests that even though the sun going to the top of your chart, going over Uranus, could see you thinking very actively about work, your own business, or some kind of worldly change, the potential to be more social is also there. But if that standoff or that discussion you had at the start of the month is still not resolved by the end of the month, the square between Mars and Pluto is very, very intense indeed. And it could lead to a big discussion. It may be a little bit brittle. It may be something that's uncomfortable. It may be something you do need to have. As far as energy is concerned, Saturn in the 8th house does suggest if long-term finances are a worry or intimacy is not working in a relationship, that can affect your vitality. However, I feel you have a chance with all that 9th house energy to be more active with the energy you do have. Professionally, a new beginning is definitely emerging for you. Financially, with the two planets of fortune in the lucky 11th house towards the end of this month, your fortune in terms of cash could come around some kind of syndicate. I'm not advising you to punt anything, but if you do that stuff and you enjoy it, it could turn out to be very positive for you at the end of this month, but also into the beginning of June. Thank you so much for joining me, Virgo. Wishing you all the best and look forward to seeing you again soon.